guys, what's up? Thank you so much for watching Mostly Sane. I'm Prajakta. Welcome back to another really fun Real Talk Tuesday video. The last time I had a chance to do a Real Talk Tuesday video with this very special person, I kind of just ऐसे ही मैंने idea बोल दिया था मैंने कहा Real Talk कर लेंगे but can we do like a sketch, and she actually agreed, which I thought was very cool. And then I ended up doing one of my favorite sketches ever. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to link it. But hi Kajol.
Hello. Can I just say one thing, Prajakta, that I think the title of your show, Mostly Sane, is just so apt.
It is, right? I can get away with so much saying it. I said it's mostly.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know anybody who's completely sane, so.
Thank
fine.
God.
Yeah.
That will be a very boring life.
I agree.
But you know, I'm sure you meet a lot of people जिनको लगता है कि वो completely sane है.
बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो आते हैं और लगते हैं कि ये पूरी तरह से sane है, मतलब उनके बोलने का तरीका, बैठने का तरीका, पूरे they are pretending to be fully sane, and you know that they're fully mad at it. मतलब ये 2 मिनट के लिए अगर कॉफी नहीं आई या खाना नहीं मिला तो there will be hangry and kali and whatever happening over there.
Everything happening.
So yeah.
But it's good. But hi, how are you?
I'm good actually, doing very well.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
You look amazing. And now...
Anything more? We can continue the show.
Your makeup is well done and you're carrying it off very well. The hair looks perfect and the jawline, I can chop onions on it.
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Don't.
No, but seriously, we're very happy that we're back and that you are here, and then we see you a lot more and on OTT. ये पहला है.
Yes. The first OTT series.
Which is so exciting for me क्योंकि मेरा तो पूरा मेरी दुनिया ही digital है.
हाँ, basically.
Yeah, when someone like you comes on digital, it's a little bit of a thumbs up कि हाँ सही जा रहा है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल. और मैंने हमेशा सोचा है, I did Tribhanga as well, which was a movie, yes, but it was for Netflix.
Yeah.
And no, I definitely think that the OTT revolution has given the public, honestly, so much more to choose from, and so much better to see. I think we're all being held up to bigger and better standards, which is all for the good.
I'm so glad. Now, for someone like you, आपने तो सब कुछ मतलब अभी तो you've caught up with everything.
Caught up मतलब?
Caught up in the sense कि मतलब
surpassed, say.
Surpassed. I'm sorry, my bad. We'll edit that. We'll fix it. You have surpassed it, and I mean it in a way कि मतलब movies, so obviously you started with movies and then that went on for so long. Then there was a Netflix film that came up, and then now there's a show. So there's everything that has been possible कि अभी तो वो tap कर लिया. How fun has that been?
It has been great fun, and it's been fun because I have kind of done it at my own pace. That I'm not rushing to catch up to anything or be anywhere. And you know, like I read this lovely line that says that you don't have to be busy doing something to be important, and that pretty much applies to me. When I'm drinking my coffee and I'm sitting on my table doing my knitting and I'm watching a show.
Knit?
I knit, I crochet, I
What?
read books. Yes, I have a life apart from movies as well. And
But
acting
why
as well.
hasn't anyone spoken about knitting before this?
I've put up videos and stuff like that. You obviously have not been following
delete
me
कर
or
देते हो, फिर
like
सारे
keeping it
एकदम-
so much in saying you're not up to date with
I mean, I did not know about the knitting. Yeah, this is
me.
great.
No, I've been knitting for a while. I've actually learned how to knit when I was about 5-6 years old, and it kind of, my great grandmother taught me how to knit, and she taught me how to knit. She taught me how to crochet. She taught me how to play the harmonium. So I was a very busy child.
I'm sure. I was about to like, you were very busy.
I was very busy. But yeah, so these are things that actually give me a lot of peace. They're like kind of like if somebody asks me like, what is your meditation? My meditation is this. I listen to my music and I sit and I knit and I crochet and I'm busy.
And you like reading books?
Yeah, and I love reading. I don't like reading.
You love reading.
I love reading. I find it a necessity in my life.
What's your favorite genre?
I only read fiction. I do not
Great,
read books
same.
to improve my mind because I think my mind is fine the way it is. I do not read them to improve my vocabulary because I think I speak better than most of the people around me. And I do not read them for any kind of great, improvement of any kind, to be very honest. So I read all the things that everybody thinks are. I read Mills and Boons. I read fantasy fiction. I read.
Oh my God!
You too?
You too? Thank you so much for saying this.
historical romances.
Oh,
I
dark
read.
romances.
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you.
I won't even get into the details right now because afterwards.
Must. Yes. Oh my God, this is such a win for me.
All of that, yeah.
This is great. क्योंकि जितनी बारी books के बारे में बात होती है ना, everybody same thing when they pretend that they are very very sane.
Yeah.
जब conversation happens कि oh you read, what do you read? So my opener is always Murakami. Then they take me a little seriously. और फिर मैं थोड़ा but I also
Can I tell you that I bought Murakami once, and actually somebody presented to me Murakami once, which I love the way he writes, but I couldn't get beyond 2 pages. And I read the first 2 pages, I read the synopsis.
Which one was it?
Agar I don't even remember. But अगर कोई मुझे पीछे से बोले कि Murakami, lovely author, fabulous author, very well written.
So I enjoy Murakami, but how about this? Can I give you this one Murakami book that is very special to me and that kind of made me fall in love with reading in the first place?
Okay.
And I just give it one chapter and tell me what you think.
Yeah. As long as it's one chapter.
Just
you
one
don't
chapter.
expect me to go through the whole
I
book.
don't.
We're fine with that then.
I mean, if you like it, then you won't be able to stop.
So I'm also that kind of person that if you ask me about TV shows also, I don't watch anything. So don't ask me that. If it's in your next question, यार पूछना भी मत कि कौन सा
मैं तो
TV
book से
show
खुश हो गई
पसंद
यार. The
है.
fact that you've said Mills and Boons, I'm so happy.
मैं देखती नहीं हूँ. I don't watch anything.
But
so,
you should watch this show called Mismatched.
See, you started already.
Has a lot changed जब से आपने शुरू किया when it comes to the structure of, I mean, I'll not talk about storytelling right now, but the structure of just being on a set.
Oh yeah. Big time. I think the world has changed.
Yeah.
And some things are for the better. Some things are not for the better. I think the biggest boon that we ever got was vanity vans. Really. I mean, like, thank you God for those vanity vans. Because
what was
before
before
vanity
that?
vans,
Makeup
can you
rooms.
imagine shooting outdoors on a little island after traveling 4 or 5 hours in a boat, and then you go to a little island which is like about the size of this studio, and your entire unit is sitting over there while you do work with like 10 dancers behind you, and you're dancing the whole day under an umbrella, max. So like I said, vanity vans are a huge upgrade. Big thumbs up for that. Thumbs down for the vanity vans as well, because I feel the vanity vans kind of separated us.
Yeah, you don't sit together and eat anymore.
You don't sit together and eat anymore. You don't. It's great as women because I feel the loo part of it is taken care of, at least for us. It's much safer, it's much better, cleaner, hygienic, yada. And honestly, we can't do without it. But what has happened in the film industry, I wouldn't say because of the vanity vans, but partly, but we've all kind of become compartmentalized. Like there are like 100 jobs, and now you have 150 people to do those 100 jobs. And where earlier we had 75 people to do those 100 jobs. So it was closer knit, and I don't remember a time where I didn't sit and eat from the buffet with. I don't remember a time. I don't remember having a meal alone by myself. I mean, there was always somebody or the other, or everybody just sat chilled, whether chai ja rahi hai ya khana ja raha hai ya jo bhi hai. I mean, it was a time where, and it was a smaller industry probably. So you are the same people being repeated.
कि इनके साथ इस वाली फिल्म पे भी काम कर रहा है, फिर अगले वाले पे भी.
Whether it was the light man or the cameraman or whatever. So you almost had the same people being repeated again and again and again and again. So it was just a closer knit place. And I think people just were, because of that, maybe because they didn't have phones, अगर आप 7-8 घंटे किसी के साथ सेट पे बैठे हो, तो 7-8 घंटे में अगर आप कुर्सी पे बैठे हो तो कुछ ना कुछ तो बात होगी. कोई इतना तो चुप नहीं रहने वाला है कोई.
And I wouldn't expect that from you.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
No two ways about
that
it.
That would be very off-brand.
So,
but also another thing, of course, there's a lot of difference that has happened like that. But do you think also storytelling में बहुत change आया है? जिस तरह से कहानियाँ पहले लिखी जाती थी या जिस तरह से कहानियाँ बताई जाती थी. Because
मुझे लगता है कि सिनेमा जो होता है, it is always a reflection of society. It is always and has been a reflection of society. So where you had a film like Mother India, you had those emotions of a Mother India. Maybe a Mother India today would be laughed out of the park or considered over dramatic or considered that कोई माँ ऐसे अपने बच्चे को कैसे कर सकती है. You would be like feeling like it's considered a cult classic right now. But I'm saying that it's the time and age that it was made out of. It is the people of that time and age who felt that deeply or who felt that much and didn't consider that over dramatic. actually. You know, अगर हम डाकू दिखा रहे थे तो सचमुच डाकू थे उस वक्त. अभी सबने मतलब सरेंडर कर लिया होगा.
अभी अरेस्ट हो गए.
हाँ, लेकिन उस वक्त सचमुच डाकू थे. तो it was, I feel that storytelling has to change with the time, era, space. And today when you see a romantic film or you see a romance, it's about friendship, it's about being cool, it's about going on a date. Earlier, I mean, a date would be considered sacrilege or इस लड़की के हाथ काट दो, पाँव काट दो, रूम में बंद कर दो kind of thing अगर वो बाहर गई तो. So I do believe that storytelling has to do with the time and space that you are in.
Like for example, मैं अपने cousin, मैं सिंगापुर गई थी अपनी मौसी के घर पे, तो सारे cousin like जी we've gotta watch a rom-com, let's watch a, what's your favorite rom-com? उस टाइम पे वहाँ पे जो भी वो टीवी चैनल था उस पे इश्क आ रही थी. मैंने कहा इसको दिला दो, ये देखते हैं. और me and my boyfriend, both of us were sitting like, and both of them were like, I said, shut up, first of all, grow up and then we'll talk about it because this is gold. I loved Ishq. Yeah. I will still watch Ishq like, matlab main bet, it's silly, but it's what we grew up with and I get what you're talking about
exactly.
with the whole time-minute storytelling. Speaking of which, you're someone as a performer जो इतनी ज़्यादा consistent रही हैं with her highs. And I mean that in the best way. Like, I will be honest, I don't know a lot about the work that you did much earlier on when you started. क्योंकि मैंने वो फिल्में इतनी देखी नहीं है. But ever since I did start watching you, you kind of, जैसे कि ना हम सबको देखते हैं कि अच्छा ये वाली बहुत चल गई. And then अच्छा चलो कोई बात नहीं. और जब oh great, this one was again, but oh my god, superstar. और फिर 4 पिट गई. I'm sure कि वो एक rite of passage होता है सबके लिए. But for someone like you, with all the content that you did, it was very different. Constantly. कुछ ना कुछ हमेशा अलग रहा, but it also was very consistent. Even right now, even if it's fewer pieces that you're doing, it's still very consistent. I love watching everything that you are a part of, and I genuinely do enjoy watching content that you have subscribed to as an actor.
Thank you.
I'll
send you my playlist.
Please do. But is that conscious? Is that a gut feeling?
That is honestly like, this was my mantra from the time that I started working because I never wanted to work. So I didn't want to I wanted to work with good people. I wanted to have fun on set. I didn't want to work with people who would make me feel like I was working. Or I didn't want to wake up in the morning and say that, hey Bhagwan, काम पे जाना है, say abhi now. I didn't want that to happen to me. And touch wood till today, whatever hasn't happened so far. So I'm good. I've had a few of them in between, but few and far in between.
Very few, and that's what I mean.
And also, I'm also the kind of person, I will not do something unless it appeals to me on an intelligent level. So it has to be something, I'm not going to do something just for the heck of it because this is a political reason to do this. The reason that I'm doing this is because I like it. That is my first and foremost. That script has to be something that I like. The character has to be something that I feel के मैं इसके ऊपर कुछ मतलब amazing बना सकती हूँ. I can change it, I can mold it, I can make it into something better and nicer. So yeah.
So जो stories चली नहीं, whichever few ones they were, did that affect your decision making for the stories that came up after that?
Not at all.
No?
No. Because I take responsibility. I'm pretty much that way. I take responsibility for everything that I've done and I have loved all the work that I have done. So I truly have, regardless of whether it has worked or it has not worked, whether you talk about whatever you speak about, whether you're speaking about a Tribhanga, whether you're speaking about a Salam Venki, you're speaking about the trial today, Pyaar, Kaanoon, Dhokha. It sounds very dramatic. But
I read it like that.
Yeah. No, you read it like that. And you had the exclamation marks in your head also, no?
Yeah.
It's a very serious show.
Yeah.
बता दूं, just FYI, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मतलब हंसी मजाक में हम लोग बोल रहे हैं और हम लोग इसका मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, हम मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, लेकिन ये बहुत सीरियस शो है. बिल्कुल.
वो ट्रेलर से तो बहुत क्लियर है, but that's fine.
So I think that that's something that I need to feel that wherever I'm going with the films, I own them. When I'm doing it, they are mine and my responsibility completely. So, and my judgment of something does not depend on your judgment of it. So my performance in my eyes could actually be mediocre. You may think it's fantastic, but for my eyes, it just may be mediocre. Yeah, I could have done better in this. And some things that I may find fantastic, you would probably have never heard of. So I feel I'm working with my own judgment 100% of the time
Just
so
dependable
far.
at least 100 times.
Exactly. I have only one person to
Yeah.
cater to.
Yeah.
Or maybe two.
Who's the second one?
In my head.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about her.
Yeah,
What's
you
she called
forgot
again?
about her.
Do you have a name?
I'm sorry, I cannot give you these
Not yet.
secrets.
Too
No,
personal.
no, it's too personal.
I'm
a
sorry,
question.
my bad.
I
Tell her I
refuse
said
to
hi,
answer.
though.
Okay.
So I was very young when I started doing theatre and I loved it. I watched films, a lot of which that you were a part of, and growing up, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. फिर रेडियो का जो भी भूत चढ़ा, फिर वो उतरा भी उतने ही जल्दी से, thank God. Then YouTube started, and then in 2019 is when I actually started acting again, which is very exciting for me. Now, one of the things जो जैसे अब I'll tell you where I'm coming from. जब YouTube videos मैं बनाती हूँ ना, मुझे पता है कि exactly like you said कि ये पूरी मेरी responsibility है. मैं जानती हूँ कि ये मैंने लिखा है और मेरी इतनी समझ है कि ये चलेगा चलेगा नहीं चलेगा चलेगा. Most times than not, I am in a comfortable position with the unpredictability. But when it comes to doing things someone else has written, like shows or movies, the one thought that keeps coming to me is कि how can I, when I'm shooting this, have an idea if or not it's going to work? Do you ever?
What?
When you're shooting it, जब story पे काम चल रहा है, when you are on set, can you ever predict?
No, of course.
If it's going to go well or not?
Of course. And that is part of something that just comes with experience. I know I don't need to look at a monitor. I barely ever look at a monitor. I will look at a monitor sometimes अगर frame देखना है मुझे कि you know कितना है, लंबा shot है, नहीं है, कितना है,
जूते पहनने की
जूते पहनने हैं, नहीं पहनने हैं, वही. My biggest worry in the shot is that only. जूते पहनने होंगे, नहीं पहनने होंगे, क्योंकि मेरा expression accordingly change हो जाएगा. It changes from flats to heels.
Heels, I'm sure.
So it's that mostly, and I pretty much know what I will look like on screen. But yeah, I think filmmaking has changed. And for this show especially, when we had to shoot for the trial, Suparna had put up cameras all over. So we were actually shooting it like a play. So we would come in the morning and he would be like, अच्छा ठीक है, ये पूरा scene एक साथ कर लेते हैं. मैंने wide, mid और close लगाया हुआ है और ये wide, mid और close सबका लगाया हुआ है. So we would shoot like with we did the courtroom scene.
How many cameras did you have?
6 कैमरा थे. जो कोर्टरूम सीन में 6 कैमरा थे. विटनेस का क्लोजअप चल रहा है, जज का क्लोजअप चल रहा है, एंड हमारा बैक ऑफ द हेड इज ऑल्सो मूविंग. तो वी कांट इवन लाइक बक कर रहे हैं साइड पे या कुछ ऐसे भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो वी नॉट लाइक फैफिंग अराउंड. इट वाज अ लिटिल लाइक intense.
Theater,
Yeah, it was a little like theater where you have to do the whole thing at once. So I think everybody has a different form of working, but I think I am confident enough. I mean, I've been doing it long enough now that I have a very, very clear idea. Maybe not very clear, but 80-85% तो समझ में आ जाता है कि कैसे लगने वाला है सब कुछ. और that's the thing that अगर मुझे बोलो कि खुद की स्क्रिप्ट लिख के करने के लिए, तो वो तो मतलब कभी नहीं.
नहीं, बट इसी पे अगर से halfway through the shoot ये आइडिया लग गया कि ये,
वो तो पता चल जाता है. मुझे तो पहले 2 दिन में पता चल जाता है कि ये पिक्चर
कर
चलने वाली है, नहीं चलने वाली है, ये डायरेक्टर अच्छा है, नहीं है, तो वो पहले 2 दिन में ही समझ में आ जाता है.
and then how do you find the motivation to keep
Nothing,
going?
you just keep going because you're a professional and they've paid you for it.
Fair enough.
Motivation.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then of course you try your best to wiggle you know, something.
Pray for the
better
editor
out
to
of
save it on the table.
And pray for, you know, everything to go off well, and you know, kind of subtly manipulate things around you so that everything becomes a little better, a little nicer.
Has it ever surprised you? जैसे मेरे साथ मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि at this day and age, content and the audience is so volatile.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
changing and so unpredictable.
Absolutely.
कि कोई चीज जो अब मेरे साथ तो ये बहुत ही बार हो चुका है. मैंने कहा तू ये देख, तू ये वीडियो देख, मस्त tanks, nobody watches it, doesn't do well, comments are Prajakta, what are you doing? And then there's a video जो मुझे लगता है कि यार मजा नहीं आया इसमें, what to do, और वो चल जाता है. Has that surprised you ever?
Every Friday. Every Friday, trust me. I don't think there is a formula. To be very honest, there is no formula. If there was, a lot of people would be in it in a regular format. But I think you know, the one thing that I've realized about filmmaking is that filmmaking in our country is not a business. It is a passion. It has to be a passion, because otherwise you would put those 50 and 100 crores into a bank account somewhere and live off the interest. Here we are desperately, नहीं हम वो 2 करोड़ उसके ऊपर बनाएंगे, नहीं हम वो 50 रुपए उसके ऊपर बनाएंगे. So It's that. It's very rarely a business. I have not seen anyone. If you think of it as a business, I think 60-70% of the time you fail. Because if you're going to look at it as a business, you will never be able to understand the passion behind it. And you will never be able to understand what drives us as people and what magic, as they say on screen, what we watch as an audience and say, oh my God, that was magical. You'll never see it created in front of you.
What's your favorite genre to watch?
See, again, you're asking me questions. You should not ask me this. I don't watch anything.
Nothing you'll watch.
I don't watch anything.
Okay, what
I'll tell you what I watch. What I really, really watch, and what I have I truly enjoyed in the theatre. I have had a blast in the theatre. Was wait.
Sorry, I'm just plugging myself
No.
constantly. No.
No.
Thank you.
No, नहीं देखी मैंने. नहीं देखी. Jujutsu Kaisen. I loved it. I took my son for it because my son was like, मेरे बेटे ने कहा कि नहीं मम्मा मेरे को जाना है. You know, mama, all my friends want to go for it. Holidays चल रहे हैं. It's the weekend. This that. I said, okay, fine, we'll go. So I have escorted 10, 12-year-old boys to watch this film, and I was mind blown. Not to say that I don't know about anime, or not to say that I haven't watched it on, the various channels that they have it. And I've always found it very, very intelligent writing, and I find the music fantastic. Yeah. So I really, that's something when I get time, that's the kind of stuff that I really, really, like if I have the time and space of mind, I would say, it takes to watch. And that's what I'll watch. Because I found A for one, it is fantasy on another level altogether. It talks about spirituality. It talks about beliefs. It talks about God. It talks about how manifesting. It talks about everything that is in today's day and age talked about. Earlier was considered woo-woo, and before that was considered was not considered at all.
Only.
So it's all of that put together, and it's amazingly shot. It's created. You have the most amazing manga art involved in it. So it's really, really like I loved the film. And even if whether you're 12 or you're 25 or you're 35, it doesn't matter. It still affects you the same. So yeah.
So that's the last film you really, really enjoyed.
That's the last time I went to the theatre and watched.
What's your favorite genre to perform?
You didn't ask me whether I wanted to perform in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Did you? Anime? Are you going to say anime?
No.
I would be
What's my
surprised,
favorite genre to perform? I don't know actually. I love doing complex scenes. I love doing complex characters. I like scenes which have layers underneath layers underneath layers and meanings. I like scenes that are actually without dialogues.
Oh.
So yeah, I feel that sometimes some things don't need to be said to be put into
Is
words.
that tougher?
I feel like, but it's so much more fun. You know, and it's actually a creative process when you're sitting and you're standing and there's a silent shot between two people.
Can I ask you something about being an actor? When you're on a set and suppose ऐसा वाला scene है कि lines नहीं है, how much do you depend on your co-actor for a scene like that?
Oh, you depend on your co-actor for every scene.
Right?
I think you depend on your co-actor for every scene. Even if that co-actor is a chair, you depend on that chair and that table and the furniture in the room for what you need to say. And I believe this with my whole heart and soul, and I've said it time and again, and I will say it time and again, that one person does not make a film. Not a director, not an actor. We call them lead actors and actresses, but at the end of the day, it is every single person on the set.
Okay, speaking of the trial, tell us about it.
Finally. It's the characters called Nayonika Sengupta, and it's a story of her and her husband Rajiv Sengupta. So it starts off with a slap.
Yeah. Yes. Even the trailers just chatak.
Yeah, bilkul na. The only thing missing was the crack of the thunder and the round trolley. But so it's a dramatic serial. It is emotional. It is about a woman starting off after a long time again and coming back to work and realizing that she's nowhere. You know, from being at the top and having everything to starting off at the bottom and everybody around you knowing what all you had and from where you've come is a huge jump. And she starts off from there, and there's one thing that I love about Nayanika's character, is that the one thing that I absolutely resonate with is the reason that is the fact that she is a woman and she has 2 kids and there's no choice. She just doesn't have a choice in the matter. And she has to do what needs to be done. And it's a very practical mindset that I think every mother will understand and every woman understands. That there are times in your life that you reach a very practical point of view कि ये करना है तो ये करना है. ये शायद दुनिया को लगे कि ये गलत होगा या दुनिया को लगेगा कि ये सही नहीं है, ये एक चीज़ बोल रही है और एक चीज़ कर रही है. लेकिन अगर आपको करना है तो वो ही करना है. करना है तो करना है. मतलब फिर अपना कॉन्शियस साइड पे रख दो और बोलो कि हाँ ठीक है, you know, brazen it out. And that's her. And how she grows from there. And you know, how she has to deal with people looking down on her and going from being completely respectable to being completely looked down on and completely not, and being in a very, very vulnerable space, being in a very, like, angry at her own vulnerability in a way. And then going from there, learning from there, growing from there, and you know, kind of taking charge of her own life.
You know what part of the show I'm most excited to see? What scene I'm most excited to see? No. No, I'm not. वो तो देख लिया ना ट्रेलर में कि slap है. No, I'm about to tell you what it is. Trailer में there's a very quick shot where you're in the courtroom और आप टेबल पे कुछ देख रहे हैं and you do this. I feel like that is really a. But in my head, मैंने already सोच लिया कि oh, she stopped and then whatever she says is going to be huge.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
लेकिन वो मैंने देखा और फिर because the minute you said that I was expecting a dialogue to come after it और फिर कट करके अगला वाला whatever the montage.
But the good thing about it is that we've written it like that. It's the kind of thing there where, like, the dialogues, everything has been written with people in mind and to say with the, you know, to say you're going to enjoy this. This is for you to. It is not a preachy serial. I mean, हम लोग इतना कुछ नहीं सिखाने वाले हम आपको. तो कुछ सीखो.
But good, when's it out?
So it's out on the 14th of July on Disney Hotstar. And it's called The Trial, Pyaar, Kaanoon, Dhokha. Pyaar, comma, Kaanoon, comma, Dhokha. Exclamation mark.
Every time I read it, I'm going to read it like that.
Yeah, please do.
It's quite exciting. We are really looking forward to this show. And I'm so glad. You know why I like having you in a show? Because then that way I can watch you for much longer. कितने घंटे के एपिसोड, कितने मिनट के एपिसोड है?
I don't know. 35 minutes, 40 minutes,
okay,
something
good.
like that.
So, picture तो 3 एपिसोड में खत्म हो जाती max.
I swear.
This is how many episodes?
I think it has about 8 episodes.
Hey, there we go. So many more. It's also it's an adaptation of The Good Wife. उसके 150 एपिसोड हैं.
बिल्कुल.
और इसके सिर्फ 8 हैं.
जी.
तो इसका मतलब एक सीजन पे तो रुकेगी नहीं बात.
बिल्कुल नहीं, हमारे पूरे plans हैं. So it's actually, like you said, it's 150 episodes. और हमने पहले सीजन में actually.
Has that show ended?
I think it has. It ended long back. It ended in 2016.
It has ended. Okay.
So the first season actually has 23 episodes. And we've crunched it down to 8 episodes. So it's faster storytelling, better character building, and because we know where we're going with it, so it'll all come together
it's easier
in
to,
a much nicer way. Of course, but it is, I will say this, कि ये इंडिया के बारे में है. हमने बहुत अलग तरीके से बनाया है. अगर आप वो इंग्लिश शो देखोगे और सोचोगे कि सिर्फ वो ही आने वाला है, वो बिल्कुल नहीं आने वाला है, क्योंकि केसेस भी जो हैं वो इंडिया के हिसाब से और आज के हिसाब से बनाया हुआ है.
Because वो खत्म भी बहुत बड़े साल पहले हो गया ना शो, तो फिर a lot has changed since then, I'm sure. Oh, great. So then एक ही सीजन, this is what I'm saying, this is what is great about a web show, कि सिर्फ एक ही सीजन जो कि बहुत सारे सीजन आएंगे और ऐसे आते रहे. 150-300 बनाओ.
आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर और ये जरा डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार को बोल दीजिए साइड पे.
बता दूंगी. और तो उसके साथ साथ कुछ और बना रहे हो तो बता दो, I'll come and audition. But this is great, Kajol. We love you. Thank you so much for being this person that you are. I've said this to you the last time. I'll say it again because I say it everywhere I go because इतने सारे लोग जितने भी मिलते हैं मुझसे, so many people talk to me about our video and like, listen, how was it shooting with Kajol? And I always say this, and I'm like, she is exactly how I'd imagined her to be.
You had to imagine?
No, like, मतलब before meeting you,
yeah.
Because all the interviews जो मैंने आपके देखे हुए हैं, films तो चलो, films are character, जब ना interviews मैंने देखे हुए हैं, जितने भी even I see videos of paparazzi spotting.
Okay, that's a bit much.
It is. It is. It's a little bit borderline obsessive. But that's what I'm saying. But I love watching you. And जब मैं आपसे मिली थी, my fear was that what if she's not how I thought she is? But you were exactly like that, and you've stayed as is, which is a huge up for me, who's a fan.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for being this
Not at all.
person.
And I will say this, I will take your show to say this, that I want to say thank you for this unending and unconditional love. I just realized it that, in July I complete 32 years.
Shut up!
Yeah, 32 years, right? Of Bekhudi. And I have this, and I've realized that I have grown up in front of you guys, and I have got married, and I have had kids, and I've become fat, and I've become thin. I've grown my hair, cut my hair, fallen down, broken my shoes, taken off, walked in my chappals, everything in every which way. And I have just got this so much of unconditional love, regardless of whether I'm working or I'm not working. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh man,
I will
thank
take
you.
every opportunity to say thank you for that. Eternally, eternally grateful.
32 years, huh? That's a long, long. Oh, thank you. It's great. You're great.
Trying?
Yes. Little bit. Okay, this was fun.
Yeah.
The trial comes out on Disney Hotstar on the 14th of July. Watch it and tag now that you're back, right, on Instagram. You are there right now.
I got back like in about 3 hours.
But yeah, so like tag her, tag me. Make sure that you're very vocal about it if you're tweeting, and if you watch this, comment below, tell us
You
how
don't need to say
excited you are.
vocal.
Why?
Because they are going to be vocal whether you ask them or not.
No, matlab like go and like talk about it is what I'm saying.
Bilkul, yeah.
But do it. If I could have ordered it better, but hey, what the hell, I'll edit it. But yeah, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up. And I try to come up with new videos every Tuesday and Saturday. And yeah, that's that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, until we meet. Love, love.